Hello and welcome to the new commentary on... Oh, I guess that's me failing the run before. Welcome to the new commentary on my Descent 3 Retribution personal best from several months ago. This isn't the expansion that I've been playing more lately. This is the original campaign of 15 levels. Right away, you'll see me shooting some what looks like random lasers, but they actually manipulate the robots that are coming up ahead into moving out of the way so that you can have more room to fly through the tunnel. Like that shot moves the robot that's in the middle of that room out of the way, so you can just shoot the switch, because normally he's in the way of the switch. Moving that guy out of the way too. These lasers move the robots towards the middle of this curved tunnel. So that's robot manipulation, which is, well, I guess the first technique that I've been using in the run. That was an example of when it doesn't work so successfully. There was a bit of a traffic jam in that tunnel. So you'll also notice that I'm moving at an angle, and I'm going to be doing this for basically the whole run. The more directions you move it at once, the more directions you move in at once. Like right here, I'm going up, right, forward. The more directions you're moving in at once, it kind of adds together as you move on the diagonal. And if you combine that with, you'll also notice, instead of just holding down the afterburner, I'm trying to keep the afterburner between like 90 and 100%, because that's when it gives you the most boost. So trying to mash the afterburner and keep it at between 90 and 100%, and move in 3 directions at once, and that's the basic movement in the Descent 3 speedrun. And it's very hard. It's hard for lots of reasons. It's hard to keep your afterburner number just right between 90 and 100%. And if it goes below 90% and your afterburner stops providing you as much boost, the angle at which you're traveling, because you're moving in 3 directions at once, will change. So you'll stop flying straight if your afterburner is off. So it's very tricky to manage your afterburner and also manage shooting where you're going. Because if you're looking where you're going, that means you're not flying diagonally, right? So there's lots of things to manage, whether you're deciding to shoot where you're going and try and clear the robots out of the way, or you're going to try and just push through at max speed and hope that you don't hit anything. So that's a little bit about the movement mindset in this game. Oh, Thiefbot, most annoying robot in this game, and that's maybe the worst place to run into him. The Thiefbot is really annoying because, like most robots, he gets priority over your movement. So if the robot runs into you, your ship is going to stop, and he's going to be able to push you. Another robot manipulation, shooting those lasers to move that squid out of the doorway. Let's see what's there to talk about here. Just trying to get from point A to point B, grab all the objectives, try not to run into any robots like that. There's lots of small tunnels in this level where it's easy to get caught on robots. So you try to either shoot the robots so that you don't get caught on them, or get them to move out of the way. Some robots, some robots are nice and always blow up immediately when you kill them, but some robots take a long time to die all dramatically and stuff. So it's important to realize, like, some robots, it's not always best to try and kill them to get them out of the way, because you might have to wait 2 seconds for them to die dramatically anyway. Right here, while I'm waiting for this cycle that I just started in the other room by flipping the switch, I'm clearing out this tunnel ahead of me, so that it'll be clear when I fly through it later. This part's all on a cycle. We're just waiting for a robot to come into this room so we can blow it up. Thanks, robot, for giving your life so we can complete the level. And now, this is probably the hardest part of this level. There's this small tunnel where there's lots of robots, and it's really easy to get stuck in a real traffic jam. But I partially got lucky. There weren't as many robots that time, and I was able to nudge past one of those robots that dies very dramatically and takes a long time to die. So I nudged past him using the Voss. Voss is like the machine gun of this game, and also, since it uses bullets instead of lasers, you can kind of like knock robots around with the mass of the shots. So I used the machine gun to push the robot out of the way instead of killing him, which is often more effective in this game, and you'll see me doing that a lot in this level. So I opened up the map there because of... Oh, I didn't even talk about the cutscene skip in the last level. So in the last level, I died right before the end, and that skipped most of the ending cutscene of that level. If you start a cutscene while dead, it skips to the last scene of that cutscene. You're also going to be seeing me do a cutscene skip in this level to skip the Super Thief, the boss of this level's intro cutscene. And this one is extra cool because there's me pushing a robot out of the way with the machine gun again, by the way. But the cutscene skip at the end of this level is extra cool because we can respawn while the boss is still doing his intro cutscene and deal fatal damage to him before he fires his first shot. So he goes straight from intro cutscene to death cutscene. It's pretty funny. This is a troublesome tunnel. One of the times that I like to be looking forward instead of trying to go max speed because you get stuck. Look real silly. This door isn't always open. Someone went through it. Sometimes robots behave somewhat randomly in this game, or in ways that are at least unpredictable. Sometimes that's good, like sometimes doors are just open and you don't have to shoot them and open them yourselves. You can just fly through instead. And sometimes it's unlucky, like a robot will be in a place that you don't expect in a tunnel, or even in a place that you can't see because of the way that you're tricording. And you'll just run into something that you don't expect. So there is some randomness with the AI in this run. Alright, this is the end of level 3, and this part is pretty involved. Setting up to kill ourselves later. 3 homing missiles takes this thief down to low enough health that it starts his surrender animation, and if you kill the thief while he's in an animation, it skips the death animation. So that's how we blew the thief up instantly there, dealing even more damage to ourselves to set up for the intentional death, placing the objective of the level, the data cartridge, activate the boss cutscene, deal fatal damage to ourselves. Cutscene starts, and then we respawn and flip on and off auto map to get our screen looking right again. And now, once we head into the boss room, the boss will start his big reveal, and we can deal fatal damage. We can tell he's dead because our lasers stop making particles appear off of him. Now he dies. We're almost at fatal damage again. Pick up the data cartridge, kill ourselves. We almost got killed by a robot there. If that robot had hit me before I grabbed the data cartridge, we would have lost the level. So that was close, but luckily we made it through with a pretty good time for that level. That was a really smooth ending. Okay, level 4 is mostly movement. There's beginning part. You're in a subway station and you have to get through these subway tunnels without getting hit by the trains, but the timing is always the same, so it's not that big of a deal if you can remember. And I try and hit all the trains with flares, so I always remember. Also, shooting flares or whatever you want to shoot in this area it baits the robots to come out into the tunnel, and then they get hit by the train. So it's also pretty fun. I'm not exactly sure why I damaged myself there. Maybe I'm wow, I guess that was pretty fast. Maybe I was doing a damage boost with the concussion missiles. Normally you get to that train station right as that train is coming by, but I had to slow down a little bit for that train, which is a sign that it was on a pretty good pace. Damage boosts will only do so much if my movement is sloppy. I don't really know what I'm going for. It's funny how your speedrunning mentality will change over even just 6 months since I did this run. So we picked up an item called the Afterburner Cooler at the beginning of this level, which doubles the speed that your Afterburner recharges. So what that means for mashing the Afterburner Cooler, or mashing the Afterburner button, is that instead of having it recharge the same amount of time as we're holding it down, we can hold it down for twice as long as it recharges now. Which means that you can be afterburning 2/3 of the time, which is kind of insane. It's like you're using your afterburner most of the time that you're flying, and also moving in 3 directions at once. This is definitely more than twice the normal movement speed. And very fun to do in the large tunnels of this level. Slowest doors in the game. So besides getting stuck on robots, getting stuck on doors is the second worst thing. For the speedrun, they're almost the same as robots, because you have to come out of your tricord to shoot them so they get out of your way. So doors and robots are your biggest enemies. Figuring out how to shoot doors as soon as possible is very important. Oh, we just skipped the boss of that level. You can get an impact mortar out, and if you bounce it in just the right way, it explodes right as the 2 mercenaries are coming around the corner in the cutscene, and they're not invulnerable in their cutscene, so it just blows them up. Okay, biggest glitch of the game right here. We're going to skip level 5, which is a 12-minute auto-scroller. So this is a 12-minute time save right here. We're going to watch some gameplay that we recorded at the very beginning of level 2. I actually messed up the setup right there. We're going to watch some gameplay that I recorded in level 2, and then load a save that we just made in level 5. And if you load a save during gameplay that you're watching, the game gets very confused. Sometimes it crashes like that. But sometimes it puts the game in a weird state where it thinks that you're in a different room than the room that you're actually in. And since the game only loads the room and the rooms around the room that you're in, if the game thinks you're in the wrong room, it's going to unload the room that you're in. So basically this glitch puts us out of bounds, and we can get back in bounds in a room of our choice. It has to do with where you made the recording in the first place. So we're going to get back in bounds right at the end of level 5. So as you can see from the save that I just made, the game is in a weird state. We're out of bounds, and we're going to fly back in bounds. You might recognize this as the area where you fly out in the last cutscene of this level. But we're going to fly back in, deal some damage to ourselves so that we can enter the final cutscene of the level dead, which I don't know why this only works in this level, but it completely skips the end of the level cutscene. You can't quite skip the end of the level cutscenes in any other level quite like this one. I really don't know why, but there you go. Now we're on level 6. A 12-minute level took 23 seconds, in game time at least. Alright, level 6. This level is lots of movement, some objectives to get, and it has some choke points with some annoying robots that are troublesome to clear out. You'll notice there, one of the consequences of flying faster than twice as fast as you're supposed to go is you're faster than a lot of the weapons that you shoot, which makes them not very useful. If you get to a target before the things that you shoot at the target, so that's why we use the machine gun, because it's kind of pseudo hit scan, so it definitely will get where we're going before we do. A little obstacle course here. I like to try and finish it with a timer above 45. We'll see if I get it. This pattern is also always the same. 48. Oh, I suck. 46 though, still good. see most of this game is just tricording and managing your afterburner, but it's extremely hard to do even a little bit well, let alone like consistently enough to get through a level. It's very gratifying to learn, I think. Alright, we've got the two first icons that are the point of this level. These are also some slowed doors. I'm gonna try to shoot this one as soon as I can, so that it's open by the time we get here. That robot always comes out around the corner there. In this room, you have to take a certain path through, but I have the path memorized. It's written on the ceiling, but I've just done it so many times I remember. I used to look at the ceiling in Speedrun still, but I finally learned it. Alright, we're coming up on the boss of this level, who has lots and lots of hit points, but we have lots and lots of homing missiles, so... There's basically the idea with this boss is to deal damage as soon as you can to get him to move on to his next phase and go through all his like animations that he has to go through before the game decides the fight is over. So you just want to get all your damage in at the parts where he's vulnerable, and then again work towards dealing fatal damage to yourself, because this end of level cutscene is skippable in that way. It has multiple scenes, so if you start the cutscene while dead, it skips to the last scene of those cutscenes, just like the second level. So now he's feigning death, just came back to life. I'm looking for an impact mortar that I remember spawns over here, and I shot it because I picked it up by accident, so that was great on my part. But we're at like 17 health. We're going to be able to deal fatal damage to ourselves on this rock. Alright, now the boss is in its death throes. We just have to wait for the cutscene to start. And in this next level, we finally unlocked the slightly faster ship, and we'll be switching to it for most of the rest of the run. In the second to last level, you can get like 3-shotted by a robot that there's like 50 of in that level if you use the fastest ship. So we don't use the fastest ship in that level, or I don't. I'm too shook. So since we did a cutscene skip, gotta fix the camera by opening up the map. Grab the afterburner cooler and some weapons. This is another very movement-heavy level. It's kind of point A to point B to point C and then escape. Classic descent. Hit all these switches, and then that one impact mortar will be enough to take out the generator with the fire damage. Pick up this smart missile on the way if I can. There's a part coming up where there's lots of robots packed into one place, and I want to pick up like a smart missile and a couple impact mortars to try and clear out a bunch of those robots so that I can get through smoothly. We'll see how it goes. I can't remember how it goes in this run. Ooh, had to go back for an impact mortar. Smart missile here, I think. Throw an impact mortar in there. There's 2 robots on each side of this room that have crazy movement priority over you. So throw another impact mortar. Hey, that was pretty good. Let's see if any of them block me on the way out. Yeah, that guy I didn't kill yet blocked me a little bit. But it's really easy to get stuck and lose like 5 seconds on that section, so that went pretty well, all things considered. Sometimes a pipe in that room can just randomly blow up and you die, which is fun. You have to be mindful of your health in this level, because at the end you have to survive going through a flaming room. And if you exit that flaming room with fewer than 21 shields as the magic number, you're not going to make it to the end of the level. So you just have to make sure you get out of the fire with at least 21 shields, and then you're... And that is true on easy, which is the difficulty. I think the fire does more damage on hard. And here we go into that flaming room. And I think I can't really see how many shields okay, yeah, it's more than 100. We're gonna be fine. So if you have 21 shields right here, you're living. Alright. Level 8. The last level before the intermission of the run, if you will. Oh, and a gold split on that level 7. Level 8, another level where we get the Afterburner cooler right at the start. Love it. Oh, I missed it because I'm real skilled. But luckily, I think this part's on a cycle. Yeah, you have to wait for this door to open anyway. So I might have lost only like half second or something. Going down into this area, there's a robot that has a fusion cannon that I have to be careful of, and also kind of want. Sometimes I kill that robot. This is an annoying tunnel. I don't know what I'm trying to do here. I guess it did kill that robot. Alright, I guess that works. Oh, I lost some time there. There's a weird thing about that moving wall where you can kind of go through it if you set it up correctly. But I got unlucky and got stuck on the side that I didn't want after I went through it. There's a couple walls that are only advice in this game. Walls that are moving tend to go through you if they move into you and you can't move out of the way. This is some game engine they came up with before, like, everyone used the same Unity and Unreal engine. Oh my goodness, I'm getting low on shields. I got sniped there. Luckily, there's a part up ahead that kills you most of the time. There's a giant fan that's like a physics puzzle, but sometimes you can just go through. I did not make it through, but now I'm going to respawn right there with invincibility, and I'll probably make it through. Yes, I did. Okay, and I got some of my weapons, including Voss and the Afterburner Cooler, which is great. Those are the two that I really wanted. Afterburner Cooler to go fast, and Voss because it's hit scan and can push robots out of the way. The best speedrun weapon. Open doors instantly, knock robots out of the way. That's all you need. And break glass. Push that guy out of the way. Push these guys out of the way. If you're using any other weapon, you just get stuck on those robots and have to either try and kill them or wait for them to lay off. But Voss is too good. Alright, pretty good level 8. Now we're going into level 9, which is an escort mission. You have to escort this ship to pick up spaceship parts at this spaceship factory. And there's a few things that we can do to make the spaceship move faster by doing the secondary objectives. So we're going to knock that out as fast as possible, and then spend the rest of the time in this auto-scroller just collecting all the weapons that we need for the rest of this run, because this level is stocked with missiles and cannons and stuff. So we're going to pick up most of the weapons we need for the rest of the run, at least until like level 12. And then just hang out for a little bit. This is kind of when I get up and get some water or whatever. So a little break in the middle of this high-intensity run. Running Mercenary is nice because it's like 35 minutes of a run, and then it's over, instead of a 20-minute run, and then a 10-minute break, and then another 30 minutes that's even harder than the first half. So it's just like a little easier mentally to run the expansion pack, because it's shorter. There's fewer run killers, and the run killers don't feel as bad because the run is shorter. But this run I would say is much harder. There's lots of tricks that you kind of have to do because they save a lot of time, and it's easy to mess them up. But that's just how the speedrunning be, so. One day I want to run the Retribution campaign and the Mercenary back-to-back. So like an hour and a half run or whatever. Fusion is completely busted in this game against certain objects. Fusion deals damage on every frame against buildings. I think it's what the game considers buildings, which are not robots. Buildings are like the big containers or bosses or like the thing that we just put the seismic disruptor inside. The game would consider that a building. But those can't take damage, so fusion doesn't really affect them. But the Juggernaut, the game considers a building, and fusion will deal damage to it every frame it goes through. So it only takes 1 or 2 good shots, fusion, to take down a Juggernaut. And also, most bosses in the game are very vulnerable to fusion for the same reason. If you can hit their weak spot. Like if you shoot the Hellion in the head with fusion, you'll notice it has like the fusion blast animation. Like so much. It's not just like once when it hits a wall. It's deals damage on every frame. It's great. I hope my sound effect was helpful. Just checking through my stock of missiles. Impact mortars are really important for the end of the run. They're nice because you can shoot them point blank and they'll deal like 150 damage to whatever you hit, but they will do no splash damage. So even though it's a high explosive, if you hit someone directly, it doesn't do any damage to the things around it for some reason. Whatever you hit directly just absorbs all the damage. Which is nice, because we can shoot it at point blank and not get hit. So we want to pick up as many impact mortars as possible, especially because they're a quick kill for a robot we have to kill like 30 of in level 13. The Stormtroopers. Impact mortars kill Stormtroopers in 1 hit. So does Mass Driver, but it only kills white and red Stormtroopers in 1 hit, not green ones, I believe. Ah, level 9. Even in the category where you skip as many levels as is possible, this level is still unskippable because it's just on a timer. You just gotta wait for that ship to get the parts. Levels that you can skip are levels that the end is triggered by you arriving at a certain place or like flipping a switch. If the end of level trigger is like a switch or arriving at a location, you can just go out of bounds and then go to that location. But this level isn't like that. The level ends when an AI finishes a task, so there's not really many ways to speed that up. Alright, I think I'm gonna take a little break from commentary and skip ahead to level 10. Not much to say about this level. You're welcome to keep watching as I collect weapons and pass the next 6 minutes, or you can just skip ahead to level 10. All right, level 10. 6 levels left, and they're all pretty hard. This level's probably the easiest of the last 6 levels. It's get from point A to point B, and don't forget to do any of the things on the checklist along the way. You've got to flip a bunch of switches and pick up a bunch of key cards and stuff. You also have to do a tiny little bit of managing the security level or the alert level of this base, because if the alert level goes from 3 to 4, there's an extra switch that you have to flip. So I think that I take out exactly 1 guard to keep that from happening. So I get the alert level will get up to level 3, and I'm gonna kill 1 guy so he doesn't bring it to level 4. Pick up some secret weapons for later there. Black Shark Missile, most powerful in the game. And there's also 2 Mega Missiles in that area. This guy. Boom. Yeah, that guy I just blew up would have pushed the alert level to level 3, but now this next guy will push it to alert level 3, and then we won't have to worry about the alert level anymore. Also, there's a part of this wall that is just advice. You can just go through. A weirdly skippable cutscene. Alright, and the last thing that you have to pick up in this level is an item with like a timer on it, and then you have to race to the end. But we're picking that up way before we've done all the objectives. So now we're on the timer that you have at the end of the level, about to fly around the base and hit the rest of the switches, and then fly back to the end while the timer is still running. And that's level 10.
Beagle to MD. Excellent. You've uploaded the data. If the CED doesn't know you're here yet, they will soon. Better get yourself out of there.
Perfect comedic timing. Another one. Alright, level 11. Another point A to point B situation. We've got to rescue a prisoner in the top of this huge building. And of course we've got to go through the bottom and hit a bunch of switches on the way. So this level has a trick that it's a really risky cutscene skip that can kill the run. You can like have to spend 20 seconds picking up all your weapons if they fly across the room, and it only has the potential to save like 5 seconds. It's like a 10-second cutscene, but I always try and skip it anyway because it looks so hype. So we're gonna stand right next to this wall as it explodes to take a bunch of damage. Pick up an impact mortar right here, and the cutscene trigger is just on the other side of this door. So we're gonna try and blow ourselves up in the doorway and have our corpse, if you will, fly through and trigger the cutscene. And then we can respawn, pick up our weapons, and be on our merry way, and not have to wait for the cutscene. Now we've got a couple switches to flip in this area. This is a tricky area to manage your weapons. We've picked up a lot of weapons in the past 2 levels, and you want to decide whether to use fusion or super lasers or frag missiles or napalm rockets to blow up these generators. Generally, I have missiles to spare there, so I just kind of do whatever is easy for me to do quickly. Grab the key, go through this door here. I don't always blow up that guy, but lately he had been trolling me, so I decided to just commit to killing him before trying to get past him. Alright, and now we've got to fly around this circular area and hit all the switches in an amount of time, blow up that generator that was in the cutscene, and then hit a final switch to trigger the end of the level about a minute later. Oh, I missed with that frag missile. That would have been perfect. So the idea there is you launch the frag missile, and as it's traveling, you hit the final switch, which makes the generator vulnerable to the frag missile that it's about to hit. But, alas, I missed. So we're just waiting for the prisoner to get through his escape route. He'll be coming through this way, so I'm just having fun trolling some turrets. It's fun to try and get them to shoot the walls next to them, because they always blow themselves up. Not very smart, these turrets. You can tell I'm a very patient person. Alright, here it is.
Looks like the exit chutes are sync locked.
Spoiler alert, but this is a trap.
You go through the left chute.
And the next level we're gonna spend escaping. This next level I really like. It's basically just a boss rush, and we've had the past 2 or 3 levels to stock up on weapons. So it's quick kill after quick kill after quick kill.
Get out!
It's a trap. When this level starts, we can't move, so we actually do have to engage with the gameplay at the beginning of this level to earn our ability to move back. But after that, we're going to be on our way through this level. Quick kill after quick kill. There's some generators that you've got to bounce shots off the force field to hit. Tricky little puzzle. Grab some frag missiles. Grab the afterburner cooler, as always if it's available. These shots bait this robot to open the door. Thank you very much. The doors in this level are also pretty slow. Like, watch how long this door takes to open. I shot it. Now it's open. I don't know who hit me right there. I think there was a robot out of bounds. That happens sometimes. Flare holds the door open for longer, so I can make sure that it doesn't close on me as I'm heading back out. Grab some Voss ammo. Lots of non-hostile robots in this level. It's weird. Alright, this the optimal kill on this guy is to lure him close to you with something and then blast him with an impact mortar. And he's not being very nice about that right now. He's not being lured, so I'm gonna run at him. Now he's up close. Come on. There we go. That's what he's supposed to do right off the bat. Alright. Got the kill, even though we died. So, you do have a chance to lose some weapons when you die. All of the big missiles, that is missiles that can't be stored in packs of 4, you will drop a maximum of 3 of those missiles. So all of the very valuable missiles, if you're carrying more than 3 when you die, you only can get 3 back. But I don't think we really lost anything. We might have had more than 3 impact mortars, which is actually pretty unfortunate, because those are valuable. But there are some backups right here. And the quick kill on this guy, I think, is smart missiles, because he's around a corner, but you can shoot the smart missiles at a wall so that the plasma goes towards him. Sweet. That was a good kill. This next one has a very easy quick kill. It is 1 Mega Missile. This guy's really maneuverable, so I thought it would be good to use something that doesn't really miss. And the quick kill on this 4th and final of the mini bosses is a couple Cyclone Missiles. The way that you come into the fight makes the spacing on a Cyclone Missile nice to try and hit him with like all of the missiles as it breaks apart, just like that. Alright, and now we have to fight all 4 of the mini bosses at the same time, but using a Black Shark Missile, we can suck them into a vortex and bounce them all off that force field that I shot the Black Shark Missile against. And it does an insane amount of damage. It kills them all at once. Alright, and the final boss of this game, or of the game, of the level, is this ant. You have to kill its back legs first, which you can do with a well-placed impact mortar and some shots to pick off the rest. And then the vulnerable point is the thorax, which there's a little gap between the thorax and the floor, and if you can squeeze a frag missile in between the thorax and the floor, all of the shrapnel goes into the thorax and it does tons of damage. And that's level 12, Quick Kill City. Alright, level 13 is a little bit different. It's a big, expansive level with 31 stormtroopers, and you have to kill all but 3 in order to finish the level. There's some other objectives. Longest intro cutscene of any level, which is just my absolute favorite. Spent many hours trying to look for a glitch to skip this cutscene, but I don't know. I don't think there is one. The cutscenes at the beginnings of levels are the hardest to skip because you can't start them while dead, which seems to be the best way to mess with the way the game thinks about cutscenes. Anyway, into level 13. The routing for this level has changed a lot to try and find the most efficient way to kill 28 out of the 31 of the stormtroopers scattered throughout this level. First one right here. So impact mortar is a quick kill, and a single mass driver shot is another quick kill. Those are the most common ones I'll be using throughout this level. Black sharks also are a good tool for killing multiple stormtroopers, as you'll see right here. There's 2 at the end of that tunnel, and they always die to that black shark. It's like you never even have to check up on it. And a Mega Missile to try and kill this group, though it doesn't usually kill all of them. Weapons management is also important in this level, especially because the sniper weapon, the mass driver, takes a full, I think it's 2 whole seconds to shoot after you switch to it. You have to wait 2 seconds after you switch to the mass driver in order to shoot it. I think the formula is twice the fire rate. So the mass driver's fire rate is you get to shoot a shot every second, so you have to wait 2 seconds before you fire your first shot. Voss is very quick to fire after you switch to it because the fire rate is so fast. The black shark that I shot into that room like 30 seconds ago sometimes doesn't kill all the robots in there, so you have to check with the recon interface and make sure that you're down to the right number of stormtroopers after that shot. This, being my PB, is going crazy well. I haven't really missed many of the quick kills on the stormtroopers, but we'll see if I jinx the rest of the level. This is a green stormtrooper coming up. You can't just kill him with a mass driver shot, so a mass driver and a homing missile. There's 2 coming up in this next area, but luckily green stormtroopers are just as vulnerable to black shark as... Oh wait, do I not use the black shark here anymore? I guess I went back to using homing missile and mass driver. Okay, so got the 2 homing missile shots out. Rapid fire power-up also means I can shoot the mass driver extra fast. Got those 3 switches, and that area is done with. Now there's only a few stormtroopers left. We're in the final area of this level, being tracked down by the beep 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 exploding robots. There's 2 right here that it's easier to get a quick kill on them if you don't like aggro them. If you don't let them know that you're coming, you can sneak up and shoot a smart missile and an impact mortar and get a really quick kill. But didn't work out that time. This room, if you're very lucky, you can shoot a black shark missile and all 3 of the stormtroopers in there will die and you'll end the level instantly. Sometimes one of them will be delayed in its death and another one will spawn and the count goes above 3 even though you just blew up the 3 stormtroopers and it doesn't work. So this setup is a little bit unreliable, but that's why I saved the game. And luckily it worked first try that time. For a gold split on level 13. Alright, and this is, in my opinion, the hardest level in the game. I switched to a ship that has slightly more health and less movement speed because the movement in this level is absolute garbage. There's no open spaces whatsoever. So it really doesn't matter if you have the highest top speed. And this ship can get hit a couple more times by these purple sharks before you are dead, which to me is more valuable than that tiny little bit of extra speed in this level in particular. This is a tiny little level with lots of backtracking. And you want to be careful of where you backtrack because the robots are going to follow you. And you'll have to deal with robots that have been following if you backtrack. So the whole setup around this level is like not retracing your steps whenever possible and then being really ready when you have to. At the very end, there's like a critical moment where you come back down to this bottom area and there's all the sharks that have been following you for the entire level, and you have to try and sneak around them and be very aware because it's easy to get stuck and killed. The tiny little purple sharks have complete movement priority over you and they do tons of damage at close range, and they're hard to hit. That's one of the mini bosses from level 12, just casually hanging out in here. But napalm rockets are... There's lots of weapons that are just completely busted in small spaces in this game. Like frag missiles do like 300 damage in small spaces. So do napalm rockets. There's just like precise situations where some weapons can do crazy amounts of damage. Alright, checked off another one of the many things on the to-do list for this level, and I'm going to shoot a black shark up here to clear out robots that are in there later. That section that I'm clearing out is called the mirror nodes. It has a bunch of switches that have like 6 different positions, and you have to get them all in the right position, and if anything shoots one of the switches that's aligned, it'll misalign it. So any stray shot from a robot can misalign it, and it takes, what, 1, 2, 3 seconds times, so it takes like 18 seconds to realign it or whatever. So, I think I did this part right. I'm just double checking myself, I guess. So as you can see, there's lots of sharks down here, and if you dilly-dally for too long, it's easy to get stuck, like this. I was fearful for my life at this point. Made it out. So that's why you don't want to dilly-dally for too long. You don't want to backtrack too much. You get stuck in a swarm of sharks. Okay, mirror nodes. Hardest part of the game. That mirror node was aligned. I misaligned it on purpose so that I could make sure that it's aligned at the end instead of being aligned at the beginning and then accidentally misaligning it at the end. See, someone just bunked it. If I hadn't have brought it out of alignment already, that robot would have bumped it and misaligned it, and then I would have had to spend more time later realigning it. So I just knew something was going to hit it and misaligned it myself. there's kind of a setup for each of these tunnels. The robots... Oh, that was it. The robots that start down each of the tunnels are the same every time. So, if you're ready, you can shoot weapons that will effectively be a quick kill for whatever's down the path. So that seemed really fast for the beam emitters. I was like worried that there was a robot hiding down one of the tunnels that I missed. But I guess it worked out. Now I'm kind of getting rid of all my missiles. The only things we really need for the rest of the run are fusion, Voss, and 1 impact mortar. Because you can kill the final boss in his opening cutscene. The setup uses an impact mortar and then the quick kill on the boss. You basically only need fusion to do fatal damage to the boss. And then Voss to open doors, of course. Just waiting for the level to end at this point. It takes like a minute. And there we go. I can't believe that level 14. I got so lucky. Yeah, another gold split. Wow. Okay, last level. This is my favorite level in the run. It's some fast movement. You glitch through some lava, just brute force through a solid wall of lava, and then do a glitch and quick kill the boss. It's just the best level. So, doing some standard movement here. Fire some Voss to try and manipulate the thief bot, which spawns around here, to flying through this door, which he did. That giant chasm has a door covering it usually. Shoot this left switch, barrel through this lava. Got it first try, thankfully. It's a little finicky sometimes. Alright, out of the burning room. And we want to make sure we're at less than, like around 100 is usually good. Make sure we have an impact mortar to kill ourselves with later. Impact mortars do 150 damage max, so you want to be well below that to make sure that your own impact mortar kills you. So we're going to use this impact mortar to launch us through this final room before the boss, and finally have our corpse careen through the cutscene trigger. Like so. Now, the final boss cutscene has been triggered. I forgot about the fusion charge sound glitch. And now the boss is coming out. We're doing so much damage with fusion because it deals damage to the boss every frame it passes through his head, which is the weak spot, and the boss is dead. Fusion is still charging. We started charging fusion while dead, which you're not really supposed to be able to do. So the game doesn't know how to stop the sound. And that's Descent 3. Speedrun in 53 minutes and 58 seconds. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.